Hello. Welcome back, everyone. Hopefully, you all can hear me, you all can see me, and yep, I think that's all good. Perfect. So, yes, we have started. Hopefully, you all have checked in, and if not, let me just share it once again in the chat. There we go. Okay, so yeah, welcome back. As I was saying, we are on the final session of hosting a portfolio website on ESP-32. If you all remember, here's our ESP-32 up and running still, which is nice. I lost all hopes because it had stopped in the middle. But anyways, it's now back. If you have been following along the GitHub repository, then you might have noticed that I made two changes, or I pushed two things. If you don't have access to the GitHub repository / you're not aware of the URL, here you go. It's in the chat. And there are two things that I changed / two changes that I pushed. One is I added a JSON file, a random JSON file. This is the one that we are going to use in the current project, in the next part of the code that we write. And I added another one, which was generated by Copilot. Okay, so I used Copilot to generate this, and I think it should be fine. I'm not sure. I've not tested this one out. I mean, it's not going to cause any issues, so that's fine. Okay, it's just a normal JSON file. So these are two things that I pushed. So if you have the repo locally, so if you have forked this repo, which I think two people have, they have forked a copy of this repository, make sure that you update your branch and then you do a git pull. Okay, so that you get whatever I have pushed on your local machine. So portfolio and portfolios.json, these are two files that I had pushed. Now I have pulled them. Okay, so without any further ado, let's get started, because this potentially could be a longer session and I want to build two different portfolio web server. I want to build a kind of a simple one, similar to our simple web server. I'll have a simple portfolio server and a multiple portfolio server. Okay, so I'm going to build those two. Then I'm going to show not hosted. I'll give you access to it via ngrok. So we'll talk about that as well. And we'll talk on the final bits of how you can have your ESP running on a public IP. Okay, so now the last bit would be more talk rather than actually doing it, because my ISP has blocked me from public IP access, if that makes, like, we'll talk about it and then it will make much more sense. Okay, so without any further ado, let me just, there we go, perfect. Cool. Let's start by creating a new file, which I am going to call as simple portfolio server.py file. Let me just close that one. Let me minimize this one. And what is this going to do? So it is going to read data from GitHub. So the idea that I have, actually, let me come back on screen for this one. Okay, the idea that I have for this project is, going forward, if any one of you is interested, what you could do is you could add your details on portfolios in portfolios.json, and I can take a pull like every 30 minutes or so. Like I can write some script which will take a pull from GitHub every 30 minutes, and then you can basically share an IP address with people or a name, a domain name with people, and they can visit your portfolio. But before we go into the portfolios bit, the plural one, I want to do a singular one, which is portfolio.json, which is why I'm creating a simple portfolio server. What this would do is it would visit this URL. Since my repository is public, it should be able to access this URL. It should be able to get this data, and then it will show the content on screen. Like, it will show the content on web, okay, which you can access from anywhere. And when I say anywhere, I mean even you all can access it. All the folks who are watching the stream, they can access it, because I would be also adding ngrok to keep it, like, make it public. Okay. So we'll check it out. If some of these bits do not make sense, that is completely fine. We'll start with the simple one, and then we'll improve on it and build a better one, a portfolio web server, as I call it. Okay, good. Let's go back to our simple portfolio server, and let's start from here. We'll of course need a few libraries. So socket, we'll need network, we will need time, of course. Yes, we will need gc, okay, the garbage collector one. We'll also use led because we have been using it for so long. So from machine import bin, yep, and we'll use u requests. Okay, this one comes from MicroPython. So if I go over to their docs and search for, where was it? Okay, so this will allow making a request. So get, put, post. So this is what we'll use to basically try and ensure that we can connect to a URL, fetch some data from there, and do a bunch of things. Okay, cool. I may copy over some of the things from simple web server. So I'll keep this open. Yeah, copying that over. And Wi-Fi SSID, I will set that to your Wi-Fi name, and Wi-Fi password would also be, yes, your Wi-Fi password, which we will change. Then we'll have GitHub underscore username, and that, in my case, like, okay, I'll take this one and this one, and okay, cool. I think this should be fine. And finally, the GitHub underscore URL, that would be an f string, and we will use the yep, raw.github-content.com/this/main/this. Okay, perfect. I think this is correct. So the way to verify it is I am going to go over this URL. I'm going to replace it with my username, which is right here. The repo is called as ESP-32-GHW-26. I'll put that, and the port path to my file is actually right there, and this is what the output would look like. Okay, so this is the portfolio.json, and what we are going to do is we are going to write some piece of code which will fetch data from this bit and put it here. So let me share exactly this particular link in the chat, and please replace all the details. So replace the username, replace the project name, and replace the file name, or you can use this one, exactly this one. Why? Because, well, this one would work for the time being. I'm not populating these things yet because I'll first push it to, like, push it on GitHub. Yes, once I am done writing this piece of code, I'll push it on GitHub. Then I will try it out by replacing a few things here and there. Okay. Next one is I'm going to create two variables. Let's say portfolio underscore cache, and that will start with none, and a last fetch time, okay, 0, and a cache duration. So this is like 500 or 5 minutes. Okay, cool. I was going for okay, I think this should be fine. Cool. Next up, I'm going to copy over the connect Wi-Fi function that we have written. So I'm going to copy and paste it over here, but we'll need to update a few things. So this is fine. We'll connect to network. Yes, if it is connected, then we return the IP address. Nice. And we don't need this because this is globally defined right now. So that is fine. What are we calling it? Wi-Fi SSID. So I am going to replace these two with Wi-Fi SSID, and password will be Wi-Fi password. Okay, so the global variables that I have just created, they will go here. Okay, what else? uh, Again, we can keep it at 10 seconds, then it is connected, then yep, 0, perfect, and then we return the IP address. We wait for a second. Attempting to connect can be printed multiple times. Fail to connect and return none. Okay, so the only thing that we changed from copying over from here is the details, okay, of the Wi-Fi. I mean, theoretically we can actually cut it from here and paste it right here so that they become global variables as well. I don't think they are used anywhere else. So, just to ensure a consistency, we can do exactly this. Let me search for it. SSID, 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 SSID. Okay, yep, this is good. And again, for consistency purposes, I am going to change this to be called as Wi-Fi SSID, and this could be Wi-Fi password. Why am I changing it? Just so that it's like exactly same. What am I copying and pasting? Perfect, done. Okay, so that it is exactly the same, so that tomorrow if you actually revisit this project and you see this up, and you're like, oh, you know what, I know that this piece of code is exactly similar to this. So just knowing, like, you can basically copy it over from here to there without changing anything. So if you create something new, you could copy this bit and connect to Wi-Fi, and it's all there. You don't need anything additional or extra there. Okay, I think this is good. Next bit. Okay, fetch portfolio data sounds better than what I was going to write. I am going to, what is this doing? I can just say current underscore time equals to time dot time, and we can say if portfolio cache, yep, and current time minus last fetch time is less than cache duration. Yep, I think this looks good. Okay, perfect. You can say using cached portfolio data. Yep, this looks better. Okay, so what are we doing? I think we'll have to define global here. Yep. So we want to update these values, okay, the portfolio cache and the last fetch time. What we are saying is that if there is portfolio cache, okay, so there is some data there, and the current time which we have just calculated whenever this runs minus the last fetch time, if it is less than cache duration, which is like 5 minutes, then in that case return whatever existing data we have. Okay, so if a user visits the page and in 5 minutes, in the last 5 minutes, it will not go to GitHub and fetch the data. It will just show what is there currently in its cache. But if it is more than 5 minutes since last fetched, then in that case like we should go and fetch from GitHub. Okay, so I am just going to say, yep, this looks good, and we'll also print out the URL. Okay, yep, this is perfect. So I'm going to say that, if you don't see this using cached portfolio data bit, which means that we are going to fetch it from GitHub, okay, live fetch from GitHub, and we are going to print out the URL of the data. And now let's add a try catch block, a try except block, and I am going to say that the response is, first of all, we are going to use that uRequests library, and we are going to say get data from that GitHub URL. Okay, if you got the data, and I will know that based on the status code, which is why we actually add status code in our responses as well. So if the response that you have received, it has a status underscore code of 200, okay, if it is double equals to, which means it matches exactly 200, in that case, ensure that there is this okay, we can set the portfolio cache to be, oops, that's too much, portfolio cache to be equal to the response.json. Okay, so because we know that this is going to return a JSON file, that's why I'm going to set it to JSON. And I'm going to also set the last fetch time to be equal to current time, which was in this function itself. So I'll take that, put it right here, and we will say, yep, print portfolio data fetched successfully, which is nice. And before we return the response, I can just do return, no, not return, we can do response dot close. Okay, so close the response. So now we have done a return on this thing and failed to fetch from GitHub, which is nice. We can still do a response.close and return nothing. Okay, so what have we done? Step one, we have tried to fetch data from GitHub. If we actually were able to successfully fetch data from GitHub, then the portfolio cache variable that we had created, we will say that parse the response, because I know it is a JSON response, parse it and assign it to this portfolio cache. and the current take the current time and assign it to the last fetch time, so that we can keep track whether it has been 5 minutes since we last fetched or not. If it has, then it is nice. Then we will also print out, after the success of these two things, we'll print that portfolio data fetched successfully. We'll close the connection and we'll return the portfolio cache from this if condition. Assuming that it did not come back as 200, you can print, oh, failed to fetch the data, response was closed, return nothing. Okay, but since we are using a try, we can also have an except, which says exception as E, where E is the short form of the whole word exception. And we can say error exception occurred while fetching the data and return none. Okay, perfect. So this is nice. Okay. Portfolio data, I don't think there is any issue here. So maybe we can move to the next bit. Okay. So the next bit, I am going to copy paste from what I had originally created. I can call it generate portfolio HTML, and this will have data as an input. I am going to first extract some details. So I'm going to say the full name is going to be coming from the full name. So these are the things that I'm going to pass. So I'm going to say, like, from the from the data or the JSON response that you have received, the full name is this particular key, full name. Yeah. And we can also set some defaults here. So let's say any is better. Okay, if we were not able to, we can have a title, which is this one. Then we can get the GitHub, which is this one. Okay, we can get the LinkedIn, email, about LinkedIn, email, and about. Then we can get the projects, and we also had, like, not skulls, skills, projects, and skills before project. Okay, so full name is the first variable that we have here. Title is there. Uh, GitHub is there. LinkedIn is there. Email is there. GitHub is there. LinkedIn is there, email is there. Then we have an about section. Then we have a skills section, and then we have a project section. Okay, I think this is good. Okay. Next up, what I am going to do is, for the skills, I am going to basically generate a HTML, and I am going to this is good. No, this is not what I want. I'm going to do a join, and I'm going to say generate a span tag uh, with a class of, yep, skill is fine for skill in skills, but this will be okay. Perfect. So this is what I want. We are going to generate a lot of span classes. It, actually, a list would be much better. That's more semantically correct, right? Uh, yes. And skill and perfect. I think this is good. Okay. Then next up, I want to, okay, let me see what is it generating. I don't want that. Projects underscore HTML equals to, let's start with empty, just empty string. So skills HTML will be a lot of li tags. All of them will have this class called as skill, and this will be array of how many ever skills you have added. So I added all of these. Uh, okay, not like, definitely don't know too much about UX design, or my Python is I think fine, not too much, but just enough to get by. Now I can say for project in projects, because I know projects will be an array of, yeah. So for each of them, what I want to do is just take the project underscore URL, and that will be this thing. I can create a URL link, which would be I don't know what this is. Okay, let's try what. Uh, okay, I think this is good. Okay, so what is it doing? It is going to generate a tags where the URL will be the project URL. So in this case, my first project URL, second project URL, third project URL. So it is going to get that data URL. Okay, but like we can leave it as this. So it will take that data and it will add it to the href. Target blank means it will open in a new tab, and we can like this is what the button, like the way we style it. If I style it to look like a button, so the button will have this name, visit, on click of which it will open in a new tab. What will it open? This URL that we have received. And since I'm setting the default as a hash, so we've projects.get will try to get the value from this URL. If let's say there is no value, okay, or this key is missing or there is no value to it, then it will replace it with a hash. And here we are checking the condition. If like do this only if the project URL is not equal to hash, else just do NA. Okay, not NAB. I mean, you can also have just empty string, possibly. Both of them work. I'll leave it at NA. And let's see. So the HTML is going to be huge. I'm going to cheat my way through it. I am going to uh, copy paste what I had before. Hmm, okay. Let me just quickly copy paste. Reason is like this is not the most important bit that we have in our code. I'm going to just copy paste it and hope for the best. So this is fine. Uh, And what else? So let me quickly walk you through this. Again, not the most important bit that we have to code, which is why I was okay with copying and pasting it out, uh, just so that it kind of takes less time. Okay. So remember all of this bit. It will try to get the details and assign some defaults for it. Now, in case of projects, it will be an array. So we are going to loop over it. It will get three things. There's a name, description, and URL. So let's start with the project URL itself. It will get the URL and it will try to create A tags for each of the URL. For the project HTML itself, so think of a card, and in that card, we get the name. And if there is no name, we can just say NA. We can get a description. We'll try to get the description, which will be shown inside a big tag. If you get it, like if the description exists, nice. Otherwise, it will say like show empty string. And then the URL link is basically the A tag that we have created. Okay. And oh, I had also done this view project with an okay, social links. Uh, it will be a section where we will show the GitHub, LinkedIn, and email bit. So get the GitHub, open GitHub. You can also add emojis here if you want. So it will create, if there is a GitHub link available, then in that case, it will create a GitHub link for that one. If not, actually, which makes me wonder what we can do is instead of having hashtags, we can just keep it empty. So this way, it would like we don't have to add any details about maybe this is there or this is missing or stuff like that. And let me keep this empty as well. Else empty. I think empty is better than adding extra checks. Okay. So if there is a GitHub link, which means it is not an empty string, then it will create a GitHub URL. Uh, Similarly for LinkedIn, similarly for email, and for skills, we'll have a skills section which will show the HTML. Project section will also show the project HTML that we created at the top. And right here we have some CSS. I did not write it. To be honest with you all, I basically started typing and Copilot gave me a suggestion. I just like, okay, this looks good. Yep, this looks good, kind of. Okay, and this worked out. So all this does, it returns the HTML based on the JSON data that we have received. Okay, you don't have to do like write it out right now. Just wait for me to push this code before we reach the bit where before we try it out. Yeah. Next one, I'm going to create a start portfolio server. So this one will follow a similar pattern as this start server. So we get the IP from connect Wi-Fi function that we have created. If there is no IP, then we will minimize this one. Could not connect to Wi-Fi, exiting, and it will just do this. And after this, what we are going to do first, okay, the only difference we will have here, we start connecting to socket directly. But in this case, we are first going to fetch the data. So I'm going to say portfolio underscore data equals to fetch portfolio data, which is the function that we have written to fetch the data. Okay. Once you have tried fetching the data, now let's create the okay, this is also nice. I did not do this, but okay, now let's try and create the socket. So I'll copy paste this exactly that we had. Step 4. Okay, so it will try to fetch the portfolio data, and then we are creating a socket. We did all of this in the previous session, so that is fine. Okay, this is nice. And we can also have people do like these many times. And okay, I think this is good. So I've done most of it in the previous one. I'm basically just using the same thing. Local server running on this particular address. Uh, the port 80 is not really required, so like we can ignore it if you want. Okay, next bit is the try catch. That oops, not return. The try catch, the try except. So I'm going to say try, and let's add a pass here so that we can come back to it. So this try will end with an except of keyboard interrupt. And if there is a keyboard interrupt, then we are going to turn the LED off and close the socket. Okay, cool. Uh, Basically do a backslash one, so there is some spacing in between. Now inside this try, we will have a while true. Let's start from there. While true. And while it is true, once again, we'll have something very similar to what we did here. So let me just copy this prefix. Too much spacing, too much spacing. Yes. Okay. So connection will do an accept and connection from whatever address. Uh, okay. So we get that bit, and then we can turn the LED on. As soon as we said get a connection, we can turn the LED on. And now, duh, 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 we can add inside this another try and accept if we want. So this try, let me add a pass for the time being so that I can write the except. If there is an exception, then we print it out. And uh, this is good enough. I mean, we can do a bunch of things again here. We can say, actually, let's leave it as okay. Let's try. Let's do the try bit. So in the try bit, uh, just to clear out, so this try has this particular except, which is if you are doing the control C to stop the server, then it will run this part. This try has this except where, assuming like in this particular try, we are going to generate the HTML, we are going to build the response, and we are going to send the response to the UI, uh, to the web browser, which is uh, coming on, which is kind of listening or opening this particular IP address, particular page. So if we have any issues in building that response, then in that case we'll do this. So I think we should also do a connection dot send an internal server error. Yep, this sounds perfectly reasonable. Uh, Actually, let me. Okay, yep, this is good. And we can send an HTML, which is nice. And yep, I think this is good. So, what are we doing? We have created a very simple internal server error page, which would be like a user will see this if for whatever reason we are unable to parse the data or generate the portfolio HTML from the data that we have. So let's write that. I can say the HTML underscore content is going to be this one. Let's build the HTTP response, and yep, this is good. And we can say, yep, add the HTML content that you have received and send the HTTP response encoded. Perfect. We don't need to close the connection, let it be. We'll keep the connection open. Actually, even in this case, we don't really need to close the connection. We can only, we should only close the connection if for some reason there has been an issue which we are unable to solve. So in the final, I'm going to close the connection. Yep, I think this makes much more sense. Okay, good. We don't need to switch off the LED here because we are doing it in the finally block anyways. Garbage collector, this will ensure that if any of the variables that are just hanging around not being used or there's something with it, they can be collected. Okay, I guess we are reaching the end bit. We are just going to start the portfolio server. Okay, cool. Uh, okay, so things that we have done, let's quickly revisit it. And I can come back on screen. Let me see if there are any chat. Oh, hello. You're coming here for the last session. Missed your username right there. Okay, so things that we have done, we have put a bunch of things which we did even in the simple web server.py. Then we have defined a bunch of variables similar to what we have done in the last three sessions. We have defined a LED. Uh, we are doing a bunch of a couple of things here. I would say one is connecting to the Wi-Fi, which I think has been done before. Fetching the portfolio data. This is kind of new, where we are actually fetching the data from this GitHub page. And once we have fetched that data, we are parsing it to generate a nicer looking HTML content, uh, which is happening in generate portfolio HTML. And then finally, we are talking about our web server here, where we start the web server, we connect to Wi-Fi, we try to get the portfolio data. Once we have received the portfolio data, we try to parse it and create that nicer looking HTML. And once we have created that nicer looking HTML, we send it to the client, which uh, visited that particular IP address. And in any case, we have tried to kind of, what's the word? We have tried to add as many checks as possible for any error cases that might happen. So we have a try, except if there is an exception while parsing the data, then we send a new HTML with internal server error. And finally, we close the connection, we turn the LED off, we do garbage collection. If at any point while the server is running, the user does a keyboard interrupt, Control C, Control X, Control X, Control X, I think Control X. In that case, yeah, we'll print something out on our side. And finally, this is the portfolio server. So this is simple portfolio server. Oof, let's try it out. Not try it. Let me first push this so that you can have the same code as I do. Then we can take it from there. So git add all, git commit. This was session 4. Simple portfolio server part 1. Excuse me. And git push. Cool. Let's see. Let me share this URL in the chat. Anyone who might have missed out on it. I know I'm missing a bunch of instructions, so please bear with me. I'll fix it. I will fix it. Okay. We have to replace all these to-do bits which is fine. Like you'll have to replace with my details, at least for these GitHub username, repo, and file path, unless you have created your own. The Wi-Fi SSID and password, make sure that is yours. And I don't think there was any other to do. So, yep, good to go. Oof, a moment of truth. Let's try it out. Wi-Fi name. I keep forgetting what is the Wi-Fi name. Let me confirm. Okay, this one. Okay, which repository is this on? It is on this particular repository. So this one. What's the name of this repo? Sorry, that was the username, and this is the repository name. And the path to file.json, I think it should just be the portfolio.json in this case. Okay. Uh, okay. Blog, I think this should be fine. Okay. I think we have ensured that all the variables are correct. Okay. Let's put this on our this one. So first, let me check what files are there. There's a quick connect, simple web server, Wi-Fi connect. I think I can remove a bunch of them. So I'm going to remove quick connect.py. I'm also going to remove the Wi-Fi connect.py. I'm also going to remove the simple web server.py. And let's see what I left with. There should only be boot.py. Oh, quick note for you all if you have not Googled this bit. So boot.py is a special file. Every time your ESP starts up, it will by default run boot.py. If there is any instruction that you have written in boot.py file, it will be executed first. Right after, it is followed with main.py. So right after like boot.py runs, and then it runs main.py if that exists. If these files don't exist, that's completely fine. But if you want to do something like as soon as your ESP wakes up from sleep, you want to run a bunch of things, like you want to check how much memory is there, how much RAM is there, blah blah blah. You want to kind of clear any garbage, like run garbage collection, clear any thing that is hanging around, or you may want to like get a system update of like yeah, as I said, how much RAM is being used, how much is free, how much memory is being used, storage is being used, how much is free, stuff like that. So you can do all of that in boot.py and main.py. Okay. Now let me just copy over the simple portfolio server.py over to a file with the same name. So I'm going to just do that. Copying it over. That's good. Let's quickly check how many files do we have. Okay. And this is B or 1 KB. 10 KB, I think. And let's run it. I'm going to run simple portfolio server.py. For the rest, hit enter, connecting to Wi-Fi, attempting to connect, connected, and it has successfully fetched the data. And the local server is running on this particular URL. Let me copy this. Let's go over to this URL. Okay, let's go back. What happened right here? It was oh, reload. Don't need to add that 80 bit. And there we go. Perfect, I would say. It has downloaded all the project data from GitHub. I can go into the network tab. Let me clear all of this, reload, and it's getting in set, but it's still trying to load. Oops, there is a connection reset. I am definitely doing something wrong at some point. I'm not doing connection. Let's try again. Okay, and we have the data running on IoT hardware. You can click on this one. Okay, it goes to where it should be. GitHub should parse the right data. I did not add the LinkedIn. So the LinkedIn says my LinkedIn. Email says my.email@example.com. So well, those two won't work. But otherwise, I think this is nice and it works. Perfect. Let me reload. It's resetting the connection, which is very weird. Okay. I'll look into why the connection gets reset every now and again. But otherwise, this is good and it works. Right? And if I do a stop, stop, I think it should still be running on this. Yep, it works. Now, there is one thing that I would like to do. Okay, how can you all visit? That's the main thing that I have. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use Ngrok. If you don't know what Ngrok is, let me quickly give you. Don't have to download, you just have to visit the ngrok.com. So think of it as a way to basically expose a local running URL over on the. I have a Ngrok account. I can quickly log in to it. Yep, I do. And I have this particular endpoint. So what you will need to do is you'll need to set up Ngrok locally on your machine. So example for macOS, let me share this URL with you all in the chat. Hello. So there's the ngrok URL in the chat for how to set it up on your machine. For macOS, I had to do this like you install ngrok, config add auth token, which you can get after you have signed up to ngrok, and then you can basically run something on a particular endpoint. In our case, it's already running. So that's fine. For Windows, here you go via Microsoft Store, via WinGet via Microsoft Store, or you can just download it for 64-bit Linux, Raspberry Pi. In our case, I have set it up, so that's fine. Once you do it, you get a domain, okay, a free domain. Now, my domain is called kindly popular husky.ngrok free.app. So if I visit this, currently it gives an error because it is not forwarding any data from anywhere. But since I have set it up already, what I'm going to do is I am going to say that visit this 192.168.1.201 port 80 and reroute the traffic to this kindly popular husky. kind of popular, and let me hit enter. That starts it up. Now, if I go back to a kindly popular husky, there we go. Here is the kindly popular husky domain, which you all can visit. And please do. Would love to see if people are visiting this. The link is in the chat for you all to visit. I think I have received, yep, a few of them. People are visiting. Yes. Thank you, thank you. People are visiting it and it is up and running, and you all can visit this website, right? Now, this is not quite posting yet because I am running ngrok on my Mac, which is basically forwarding all the traffic to my ESP server, and my ESP server is sending back the HTML that you see. Okay? So it's not completely a web server on its own, and unfortunately, I don't think in the time we have and the things that we have will be able to completely make it its own web server. But I can guide you to what will need to be done. I had done this with my router, but my ISP blocked it because they were like, "Oh, you are giving public connection. You'll have to pay for it." And I was like, "Nope, not interested in paying for it just for a session." Sorry. Okay. So, yeah. Any questions, anyone, before we go ahead? I'm going to wait for a couple of minutes. Okay, there is one question. Can we host this somewhere on cloud? Uh, yes, of course, you can host the project on the cloud, but the idea was to host it on ESP. Okay? Uh, so I would say kind of defeats the purpose, but that's fine as long as like you can host it anywhere you want. So in my case, I wanted my ESP-32 to be the web server which does the host. Uh, yes, I wanted my ESP-32 to be the web server that does the hosting bit, and anyone from anywhere can connect to it. And when my ISP blocked me from opening a port, then I resorted to using ngrok. But there are multiple other ways to do it, which I need to try out. Kind of. Okay. Other question: can we move the variables Wi-Fi and the people are in the file? Yes, you can. Of course, you can. You need to check what is the as MicroPython support reading from env file, which I think it should. MicroPython read from env file. Like you'll also have to put the env file in ESP, and then you'll have to write something where it can read the .env file, which is on your ESP. Uh, yes, but I 100% not 70% sure, 70-80% sure that should be possible, should be allowed. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, I think this is good to go. Uh, Let me try and just wait. I definitely got that there. I could see that ping coming in. I don't know where, but then let's discover something else. Oh, so every time I see a flash, I know someone has connected to it. Someone has tried to open the website. Yep, someone did. Okay. Don't think there are any other questions. So let's move forward and let's build the part two. We have an hour. I think that should be like good enough. And okay, the last thing that I want to build. So this was someone actually visited. I saw a flash. So the LED flashes as soon as someone visits it. So if someone can visit it again, that would be nicer. I can visit it again. But you see, yeah, flash. Okay, so it's the blue LED. Okay, there's a blue LED flash as soon as someone visits it. Nice. I just wanted to show. That's completely fine. I just wanted to show that it does a quick flash, so I know someone is visiting. You can also have it there, like you can switch on the LED for kind of longer duration if you want. So like switch it on for let's say 30 seconds. So if you're not looking at it, maybe in 30 seconds you will notice. And the way to do it is basically try and get time of sleep, right? We have done this before as well. Uh, blink with patterns. So check those out and try. Okay? I'm going to stop this particular server. I am also going to stop this server. So sorry, folks. Uh, I am going to. Did I make any changes, drastic changes that need to be pushed other than replacing the Wi-Fi credentials and stuff? Hmm, I think that was the only one that I did. So remove this. Uh, do check why using the issues. Okay, so this is a to do that I have left for myself. I am going to let me push this. And since there was this only one line change, I am going to override the previous commit. So commit number 14 that I've sent. Uh, actually, let me just do a new. Okay, there we go. We should have all the commits. Uh, the reason why I did a new commit because in case you want to see, what changed, and then there's this to do commit. So the domain is down. Folks do not visit because it will return an error, which is fine. Let's create the one with the multiple. Okay. So there was the simple portfolio server. Let's create portfolio web server. Bye. Okay, so what is the idea of this project? So currently it was getting data from just one, and it was showing just one data. But what would be ideal is what if? we have all of you try and create a pull request. Not right now, but eventually try and create a pull request, which I can then kind of accept. But don't do it today because I'll do a bit of cleanup in the code. Uh, and what you can do is you can follow a pattern, which is, for example, this particular pattern, and you can create your own details, add your own details. The only thing that I would ask is ensure that the GitHub username is unique. Because what we can do is currently when you visited the website, you were on the root of the project, on the root part, which is just the URL and a forward slash, and you were visiting it and you were like, oh yeah, I can see all the details that got fetched from portfolio. But what if I have like 10 of you, 100 of you add your own details? Then I can give you each of you a unique URL, okay? The base URL forward slash your GitHub repository, and you can share that with anyone in the world. So, yeah, to do that, I need to ensure that this GitHub URL is unique. Okay? It's not repeated. Uh, that's the only way I could think of ensuring that the forward slash bit is unique in a way. So, yeah, we'll build this where we'll show multiple like details of multiple people on the page, and we'll fetch it from this portfolios.json. And as you, if you are interested, you can raise a pull request, you can add your data to this, and then the base URL you can not the base URL. Yeah, you can share the base URL or your unique forward slash URL with someone, and you can see the details. Okay, the portfolio details, as I call it. Currently, it's very simple and it's very minimal. Like I can add enhancements to it, which is why I was saying don't raise it to request today. Raise it, say, from Tuesday. Okay? I can put a reminder message on Discord chat. So if you're not on the Major League Hacking Discord channel, okay, please join the Major League Hacking Discord channel. I'll post an announcement of when I can start accepting the request, what data you need to add. Maybe I'll try and add a template, few ideas that I have. And also I'll try and sort out ISP so that I can keep it up and running without having to leave my laptop up and running. Okay, so without any further ado, let's start it. Close this and this we can keep that same. Given the connective Wi-Fi connection. Okay, then this is fine. This is fine. Excuse me. of data should be fine. Oh, we'll finish it before the end of the hour. But let me read through. So we are fetching the data. We have like around the time we are doing caching bit, which is fine. Uh, there's a try catch around getting the data from the GitHub URL. So we get the data and let me just remove this. So this was causing an issue possibly last time, but I am not 100% sure. So I'll leave it as the portfolio cache that's updated with the data that we have, and last fetch time also gets updated, and that's fine. And if there is any exception that gets raised, then in that case we return nothing. Okay, I think this is fine. Okay, uh, now the next one is going to be HTML. This is going to be huge. So let's call it. Let me call it here. I'm going to create a new one. Actually, it would be f generate homepage, and this will take on portfolios a lot. Uh, okay, so we'll have a home page. So when a user visits the root, we will reach the home page, which will have kind of a list of all the usernames. And on click of like user cards, think of it as individual user cards. Okay, so a home page will have multiple user cards, and on click of those cards, it will take you to a new URL, which would be forward slash your GitHub username, and there you can get all the details that you have entered in the JSON. Okay, so a lot of it, a lot of HTML writing. So I am going to again cheat a little bit. Sorry, uh, and I'll explain it to you. Don't worry. So, things that I have here. So we'll have a user card, a variable, uh, which is going to be a string. Then in portfolios, since this JSON will be now, it will be an array of JSONs. Okay? So that is why we are going to loop over it, and we are going to check the get details. Okay? So we get the username, we get the full name, we get the title. So if you miss out on any of these details, we have a default. If you have your GitHub username like mine, which is dash all cap MCL, it will convert it to all small MCL because one, I don't think that will make a difference. As you can see, like small MCL also works. Okay, so it will convert the GitHub username to MCL lowercase. Developer is not it because he may or may not be a developer. It's not really needed that you have to be a developer to get your details on this page. Excuse me. Then user cards, we are going to show a pic based on username, but it will connect frankly. Uh, I don't think this would be. Like, I want to make it work, so you can fetch it from your GitHub user details. Get a picture from your GitHub portfolio. Not right now. Uh, Full name, title, GitHub username. This will be a view portfolio button, which will take page. Not all HTML. This is nice, sir. Okay. Then, sorry. We can change ESP. What do you do? Portfolio, web server, and every like all the CSS. Yeah, fine. It's not much. You can go through it. Bit of CSS. Yeah. And to make it responsive on mobile, there is a media query. Then we have to implement develop portfolios. Let's say click on any user card to view the portfolios. And okay, cool. So this returns the final HTML. Nice. Okay. So all this does, it generates a home page with some sophisticated looking CSS. That's it. Push this, and then you copy it exactly from here. Okay. The next bit is going to be very similar to what we did before, where we did generate portfolio HTML is what we call it. We generate portfolio HTML, and this will have the portfolio data, same as the data that we had before. It will get the portfolio like full name, title, GitHub. So this is the individual pages, okay, the individual page of the user. That is this particular bit. So I can copy paste exactly this bit right there. This is what you saw earlier in the simple web portfolio. I am exactly copying and pasting that bit. So again, as I'm saying, this is the individual portfolio page. So once again, for loan DPP project skills, and each of them you just loop over it. You get the socials, you get the skills, with all the details that they need, like they have provided. And I guess we can do one last thing. After social links project. So this will be a link which will take you back to the home page, kind of, if that makes sense. Uh, okay, and this is full name dash portfolio. All this detail is fine, and we'll have some CSS change. So let me once again copy what I have made here. So ideally, you can just copy paste what you have in simple portfolio server. The generate HTML page can be exactly what you have here. The only difference would be like you need a backlink to go back to the home page, but that's about it. Okay, this is the only thing that would be different, kind of. Everything else will be a copy of what you had. Okay, next bit is what we are going to write. So I am going to write parse request path. Yep, this is nice. And we'll receive a request example. Someone tries to visit some place, we'll say try, and we'll say lines equals to request dot split. Uh, Split the request that you have received. If there is something, then we can have just lines of zeros, split one space. Okay, so if this is greater than or equal to 2, return the path 1, and we can just do return path equals to path dot 1 dot lower, and we can just return the path. Okay, don't need this, don't try accept for exception. In that case, error and return slash. Okay, what are we doing? We are going to parse the request path. What this means is that when you get, like, when someone tries to visit a certain URL, and that URL is example not uh, a valid URL. In that case, we'll throw an exception, print it, and redirect the user back to the home. But if there is uh, something, if there is, if it's a valid URL path that the user is trying to visit, in that case, we will return them to the direct them to the correct. So all this parse request path does is going to, yeah, ensure that the user is directed to the correct URL. Okay, uh, and to a valid URL, right? And if they are not there, in that case, we'll just basically uh, redirect them back to the home. Next is find a portfolio, and we'll pass it all the portfolios that we have and the database also. Yep. Okay. So let's see if this is correct. So for portfolio in, actually, nope. I mean, yep. Okay, good. So for portfolio in portfolios, what we are trying to do is if portfolio.get the GitHub bit. So in this there is the GitHub bit. If this exists, or else we'll make it empty. Dot lowercase is equal to the GitHub username, and I will make it lower as well. Okay, to lowercase. If both of them exactly match, then return that portfolio, else return blank. Okay, so that's all this does. And now let's do start server, something that we have done before as well. So I think it would be fine for you to remember. Okay, so IP connect Wi-Fi, if not IP, then in that case, what would we do? Could not connect, and perfect. So let me just stop it here. It could not connect to Wi-Fi, exiting. Nice. And then we had this whole socket listen and stuff. Let me put that bit there. So s.socket socket dot af underscore inet socket dot stream back here. Okay, so that is good. Then we bind to all connections on port 80, and we listen only for the next 5 connections that we get. Oh, I forgot to get the portfolios data. It is to fetch portfolio data. Did I call it portfolio data? I should call it portfolios data, and because it makes much more sense, right? They are multiple that we can have from here. The portfolios data is fetched currently, and then we, okay, yep, this is fine. Then we can do what we did here. Let's copy the portfolio on this, and Drupal server running on this particular IP. Then we have, yeah, Control C for this one. We can also print out one last. Loaded. Uh, we can print out. Okay, let me take. Okay. So we loaded length. Uh, how many portfolio data? Okay, yes, this is this, right. So what this will do is it will say, okay, we loaded like let's say this is 3 portfolios. Uh, or if there is no data, then it will say, oh, we loaded 0 portfolios. And I don't think this, because if there is no data, it will just say 0. Right? This should come back as 20, or it will fail. Let's see what it does. Okay, then the next bit is going to be what we have done before. So I am going to basically take this tag, paste it right after. I just put something in pasting, so let me try and fix it. And, okay. So try while true, connection and address test dot accept, and every time you receive a connection, UB dot on, and I can do kind of sleep 1 second. Okay, so there will be like 1 second before you get data. Also, it will keep the LED on for a second. Then we have a try, and this will need some change. For now, I'm going to say that the request is equal to get the request, decode it, and then the path to the request. You have to first pass the request path, and we'll print out what is the requested path. If the path is forward slash, which is the root path, or the path is equal to empty, that is equal to empty string. Okay, in both of these cases, we will say that let's take this one step up. The HTML content will be this, but instead of portfolio, it will be portfolios data, and we can just print out serving homepage with all portfolios. Else, we can say, okay, GitHub username, strip out the forward slash bit. Uh, let's just say username equals to path dot l strip. Okay, strip out everything from there and split it. This is what I have. Maybe not required. I think this is required. Then portfolio will be find the portfolio depending on the portfolio's data and the username that we have received. If there is a portfolio that we have found, in that case, we can do this. We can say that generate the portfolio HTML for that particular username. Else, we can basically just say username not found and does not exist. We should try and give the user to getting right here. We can just go to HTTP response equals to the HTTP and connection close and HTTP response to the HTML content that was created, and we'll send the response. So I think we have got that all of it right here. Only, I think only need to this thing. This should be fine. And except for any exceptions, in that case, we will send a 500 internal server error. Which is fine. And send all again. I don't think that is required. We can just do a send with encoded. And finally, we can turn the editor off. And for any current I think this looks if yep. And we'll start the portfolio over. Okay, I think this is good enough. This one, I am not going to push it before I test it out. So bear with me for a second. Okay, so this is correct. This is correct. Should be correct. Okay, this looks correct. Let's give it a try. I'm going to that's a lot of things here. MP remote, and let's do LS there. So I can have two files, simple portfolio server and this one. I'm going to use the little bit. I want to soft reset the machine, so the ESP-32. So I'm going to do import machine, and then I'm going to do machine dot soft underscore reset. So soft reboot, that should help. Then Control X to stop the server. Okay, and I want to copy over portfolio underscore web server profile over to this one with the same name. Copied it over. Let's see. Now I should have two things. Okay, that is good enough. I think it's 16 KB if I understand it right. 16 KB, 16.4 KB of file. Okay, moment of truth. Let's do a run and with the portfolio underscore web underscore server dot py. Hit enter. I think I have added all the right details. It is fetching, fetched successfully. Yep. Now let's visit this file. Copy this. Going to go over to this one and also with this copy. And there's an internal server error. What's the problem? The slash off doesn't exist. This one is reporting an internal server error. What am I missing? Request list object has no attribute get. I messed up somewhere. So, oh, the whole JSON would be a list object, theoretically. So when I get the data, so let's see, I get the data, which is fine. I think I need to fix this bit. So I'll need to say that assume that this comes into this portfolio's data, which would be a response.json, of course. And then if it's an instance of a list, in that case, I want this to be portfolio data, and the last fetch time can also be set there. And we set this, and it's an instance of the list, portfolio data, the portfolio's data. In this case, if it is an instance, in that case, we will return this one, and we'll return the portfolio. We will return the portfolio's data. Sign in case. So it doesn't matter. It's successfully. Okay. Let's stop the server, clear it, and let's stop it again. Let's check it out. Well, the good thing is that our 500 internet server error works. Okay, it's not a good thing that it doesn't work as the whole. What else did I miss? So, where do I have the list? That is the most interesting question. Oh, I think I know where. The URL itself. I don't think that URL is coming back as a forward slash trust. Hmm, I think that's the issue. No wonder I had written that whole bit. Oh, this could be. And also let me print out. Oh, the password. Hmm, I think we have enough time. So if none of it works, completely fine because we definitely have a version that does work. If we are not able to figure it out, we can just put that version and we can kind of check out what's going on. Okay, let's see. Path after parsing is correct. Because path is also correct. Okay. Okay. There's one way to do it. If it is working or not, it is simply by first pushing this code and then doing it differently with the code that I have and then deciding, oh, wait, this is the problem. It reaches up until path, uh, the request path after parse. Okay, so it reaches up until this bit. Then what's the next bit? Next bit is this if condition or if else. Both of them are actually failing. I can do a print generating print page where it goes into the generate HTML and let's see. Generate portfolio HTML. It's the only other thing that I can think of. I think I copy paste it already. Copy paste it once again. Let me do Control C to stop the server. I'm going to remove, delete the web server.py. I'm going to copy it over here. Not too stressed about it. Let's see. Okay, there is an none type as install portfolio server. Okay, none type as well. portfolio's data. Oh, oops. That's because, well, I did not populate this field. That's good. I think if condition will be data else zero. Hmm. Okay, cool. Let's try and push this out. Let me push this. Then I'll try and get what I have a working code in here, and I can check the diff between those two. Yeah. Yeah. Mm, okay. This does not make any difference. And just put this out over here. That's fine. Uh, those things don't make difference. Portfolio, cash, portfolio, cash, okay, doesn't make any difference. That's fine. That's fine. That's default data. That was that's something I was trying out. So ignoring that. And, do it's fine again. I did make a lot of changes, ideally. So it would be very difficult to find out what exactly was causing the issue. Anyways, let's try this one first. If it works or not. Okay, and let's see if I can do a run from this. Okay, there's definitely something that I missed. But here we go. It will take a bit of back and forth between what was working and why it's not working. That's fine. We'll take a look later. Portfolio, visit portfolio, and there we go. So gets one portfolio, back one portfolios. There we go. And join and back. And yeah. Okay, cool. So this does work, but there is something that I definitely missed out on, which is not working. Uh, but we can also host this if you want, and we will put this on the kindly popular Husky, and you all can visit it by visiting. Yeah, possible things that we did. Also, I'm keeping an eye on the LED. If any one of you visits, and I should get a quick flash on the LED. Hmm. It seems like no one's visiting. We have yet one student. Let me try to really do it. Really. Uh, okay. I think that is we'll put this back again and let's try and debug it. So this is what we have. Connect to Wi-Fi, that's fine. We'll use it to generate home page data, which takes in I definitely am I missing out on some portfolio web server generate portfolio HTML that is ah oh this should not be portfolio HTML, right? This should be the generate homepage. Nice. Because this will take portfolio data and generate portfolio HTML will take a single page. Hmm. I think that is the only thing possibly. Let's try. Let me copy over portfolio web server.py is done. Now let me try and run it. And now if I visit this, okay, internal server error, none type is not visible. So there is still something that is messed up. Uh, at least one of these not the other. I wonder which one is still causing an issue. What generates is not this. Okay. Not too much time left. I have a working code and I have fixed one of the issues. The other one is still pending, but that should be fine. I should be able to push the change quickly right after this session. Let me see if I can still get it up and running. Uh, Try and check what else could be causing this because I'm pretty sure this should work. But anyways, I think this would be the end of my time nearly. I'll not take up too much of your time. Let me me share the feedback link so I can get some feedback. I saw the working code, so I think that should be that works definitely. All I want to check out is what am I missing. So I'm not going to push the working code until I make this one work. And when I do push this out, I think I will have page, portfolios data, get portfolios data. So this is getting a 503, which means we are reaching this exception. One of these things is causing an exception. I will apply this one. I will just get none type is not a trouble. So let's also print out the username. Okay. Please keep an eye on the GitHub repository. If you don't have it, let me share it again with you all. I have shared the feedback link, so would appreciate any feedback. Uh, I'll keep this one up and running. So I'll create a Fuji.py, which will be this one, okay? And I'll keep the correct code up and running for you all to visit. So you can visit it by, let me just copy this over, start the server, and you all can visit it, which will work 100%. Okay, yes, there we go. You all can visit it by going to the ngrok URL. So if any one of you is interested in checking it out, I will keep it up and running for next half an hour while I try and debug why the code that was eliminated in is not working. So based on what I read of the code, I think it should be working, but I'm just trying to figure it out. Give me some time while I figure it out. I'll post it like, in the commit message. You will see what was wrong. Uh, so yeah. Any questions, anyone, before we end this session? Hopefully, you all learned something good. There is one last thing that I wanted to talk about, uh, which I'll do in a couple of seconds. To get this on, if you don't want to do this whole ngrok thing, you can do something. You can use something like duck.dns. So duck.dns will allow you to kind of route your traffic, which is running locally, over to a domain name of your choice. So you can have a custom domain name, and you can route your traffic from ESP via duck.dns over to the internet. So when I make some changes, when I do the final push, I will actually incorporate DNS in my project so that you all can try it out, okay, and learn from it, like based on what I have done with the DNS lib. Okay, so definitely do keep an eye on the GitHub repository, and I have shared the feedback link. So that constructive criticism is appreciated. And if there are no further questions, thank you so much. Uh, Join Gabriella for the next session on postcard generator with Google Maps API. If I'm not wrong, that is what I was saying. There we go. Definitely join that and have fun. Going to implement that DNS before I have like by Tuesday. Cool. Cheers. Thank you so much, everyone.